Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So the time has come for our first conference session of our program, and let's welcome again all participants. Can we hear a huge round of applause to everybody? Come on. So on behalf of Penang Halal International, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and we appreciate you taking time of your busy schedule to join us today. And now we move on to the first conference session entitled Global Economic Outlook, Catalysing Halal Growth in a Fragmented World. Allow me to introduce our distinguished panel speakers for this session. Let's welcome on stage Mr. Afdal Aliasa, Director Halal Product Industry, National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance. And next panelist, Mr. Marcelo Hidalgo Valdez, Director of Chile Halal and President of Chile Malaysia Chamber of Commerce, Industrial and Services. And next, Mr. Mirza Visajic, Vice President, Malaysia, Bosnia and Herzegovina Business Council. And without further ado, I would like now to hand over the session to our moderator, Mr. Fazil Irwansom, CEO of Penang Halal International. Over to you, Mr. Fazil.
Morning, everyone. Tacha, how? Can you hear me? Is this very good? Okay. Yes, apologies for starting a bit late. As you know, we have a huge entourage going with the Chief Minister to the arena, and it's not a short walk. So apologies for that. But since you are here, we'll give you a quality conversation, and I guess we have more intimate conversation with all of you. So please don't be shy to ask questions later, okay? So I have with me three distinguished individuals from different countries, starting with Mr. Afdal Aliasa. He's the Director of Halal Product Industry of the National Committee for Islamic Economy and Finance, or CONEX, in Indonesia. Very important organization. As you know, Indonesia is going into halal in a very big way, and CONEX is one of the most instrumental organizations in that process. Next with me is Mr. Abdelnour Marcelo Hidalgo Valdez. He's the Director of Chile Halal and President of Chile Malaysia Chamber of Commerce, Industrial and Services. As you know, for you to know, in terms of halal meat, according to him, the best halal meat in the world, in terms of quality, is Chile. Brazil, of course, is #1 in terms of halal meat production, but in terms of quality, you can count on Chile. Am I right?
Thank you, yes, yes.
And next is Mr. Mirza Visajic, the Vice President of Malaysia, Bosnia and Herzegovina Business Council. We will learn from him how do we tap into the European market through the conduit market of Bosnia, being a country with a great population, great cultural heritage, and a lot of avenues in terms of opportunities to penetrate into the European market. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the global economic outlook, focusing on the theme of the conference, which is catalyzing halal growth in a fragmented world. Basically, this session will talk about the prospects of growth in the global halal industry in the context of a world, as you know, divided by the US-China rivalry, the war in Ukraine, inflation, and many more. So we'll talk about how we can prosper in such challenging times, and what are the ideas and strategies moving forward. But before that, if I can just, before we go on to the discussion, let's just, if I can have each speaker just to give their individual perspective of their company and what they do for about 5 minutes before we go on to the discussion. Is that okay? Okay. We can start with Mr. Afdal.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Fazil. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Honorable speakers, Mr. Marcelo, Mr. Miza, and our moderator, Mr. Fazil, CEO of Penang Halal International, and all the distinguished guests and participants. I want to give some background about the committee. Now in Indonesia, since 5 years ago, Indonesia has a committee which focus to expand, to develop Islamic economy and also Islamic finance. Yes, we have Islamic finance previously. We have Islamic bank growth in Indonesia, but then we think how to accelerate the Islamic finance. Then we need to focus to develop the economy. So the halal economy is the key development to ensure the development also for the Islamic finance. So the committee chaired directly by our presidents, and our vice presidents become a daily chairman for the committee, and it consists of 16th ministry and head of government institutions. So all the initiative among the ministers, among the head of institutions in Indonesia, which related to the Islamic finance development, halal development, Islamic economy, will be coordinated through this KNIKS. So what we did, we launched our Master Plan of Islamic Economy in Indonesia 2019, and until now, we are implementing that master plan. So a lot of achievement that are already done, but I think in terms of halal, Indonesia is the only one country in the world which has the undang-undang for halal. That's because we want to protect our consumers. Our Indonesia actually is a market for the halal products. And Indonesia, more than 85% are Muslims. In Indonesia, people, if you go to Indonesia, go to the market, everything, inshallah, is halal. But when the import product come to Indonesia, the culture try to think whether the importing product are halal or not. So that's why, to protect the preference of the people of Indonesia, halal need to be implemented. And we know halal is not for the Muslim only. Halal is good, halal is healthy, and can be implemented to all the people. So that's the good of the community. Now we are in the planning to do a lot of initiative. Maybe we can talk later about that. But this committee, I think, is a good story for Indonesia, because a lot of initiative that we collaborate, and just a few months, months ago, we both together with Malaysia achieved the #1 of a global Muslim travel index in the world. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Next, let's have Mr. Marcello to say a few words on his company.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Before, it's very important say Jazakallah khair, Mr. Fazil, you invite me here. 1 month before, I don't know what is Penang. Where is Penang? I don't know. But Alhamdulillah, this is a very new experience. Very beautiful experience. These people is very nice. Jazakallah khair for this invitation. Yes, Chile is very far, and Malaysia, Penang is more far because it's a place in the world. But Alhamdulillah, I am here. When we start with the halal sheikh in Chile, because before time, for the long time, Argentina and Brazil, it closed this market with the halal. Only work alone. did not talk with other country. He only have focus with the halal. Chile is very little country, very long, but is very little. And Brazil and Argentina, he work with the halal, but this market is very close. Sometime I arrived in, in this South America with the halal. I talk with the company, but this company say, we don't understand what is the halal. What is halal? This person, you know, have a habit. This is no language. Halal, you don't know what is real halal. When we say Brazil exports, this is the first place in the world with the chicken halal. On Argentina with the beef halal in the world. But these people, you don't understand a real opportunity with the market halal. But Alhamdulillah, we take one initiative. We make one halal exhibition 14 years before in Chile. There's halal exhibition in South America. You have support, many support from ETPC, from Indonesia, Matrade from Malaysia, Ifanka from America, from Australia, New Zealand, from Europa. These people go in this halal exhibition. But it's very little country, little exhibition. But you have many strong people who sit here for explain for this company what happened with about the halal. Now, Alhamdulillah, Chile Halal, we work in all South America. We have, Alhamdulillah, many action about the solidarity for the poor people, for the social activity, social network, for help for the people about for work. You have in approx 25% in work, 25 family eat with the halal market, Alhamdulillah, in Chile. And this conference, I think this is very good opportunity for new door, new expectative for the Chile and South America about the halal. Inshallah, Jazakallah khairan for your invitation. My name is Mr. Hidalgo Marcello from Italia. Abdul Noor is my Muslim name. But Alhamdulillah, I am very happy to sit with you, my brother, and Mr. Mirza, mashallah, and Sheikh. Jazakallah khairan.
Okay, next we invite Mr. Mirza Vejzagic to say some piece about Bosnia.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Salam Sajatra and warm greetings to everyone. I would like first to express my gratitude to the brother Fazil and young brother Hamad. Dato Halim, who invited me to be part of this great event. Bosnia, you know a lot about Bosnia. I don't need to make introduction. 1990s, Malaysia recognized Bosnia and Herzegovina as a gateway to Europe, and it is still gateway to Europe. Malaysians have been coming from 1990s, and they never trust, believe in us. And this is something that we will never either forget, neither neglect. So we are trying to come back at least and see what we can do. Malaysia-Bosnia Business Council is an extended platform, a hand that we work together. 2018, we have started Sarajevo Halal Fair, and that was the launching mark for the halal industry in Bosnia. Now, I have to tell you, 2010, Islamic Development Bank opened an Islamic bank in Bosnia. So with halal food in 2018 was just extension of halal activities in Bosnia. Work with PIHEC we already have. We had our Honorable Minister of Trade and Industry came on 2019. We have many guests there. We were hosting them. We were showing opportunities. Bosnia is a small country, but it's on the border with EU, and we are serving 600 million people. Opportunities are there. From the halal food, of course, we are agriculture country through the halal finance. but please don't forget tourism. Let me tell you something I will share with you. Bosnia is on 6th place and 40 in the Europe and 40th place in the world for halal tourism. We have developed total ecosystem for our Muslim travelers to come and enjoy beauty of the Bosnia. Malaysia-Bosnia Business Council is an extended platform to promote Bosnia, to promote our relationship, to promote not only halal, but our friendship, our religious, our cultural, our habits. We are doing everything to have the bridge between two countries. Later, I will tell you more about Bosnia. This is for now. Thank you, Fazil.
Okay, since we are on the topic of Bosnia, perhaps you can explain to us, because obviously right now everyone is keen to know. So, as you know, Europe is a very stringent market. The European Union is a very stringent market, and you know, it is very costly. At least on the logistics side of things, we have some logistic players here. Mr. Mark Thomas. You know, we want to know, because obviously because of the high cost of logistics to the European Union, what are the main advantage of why a company would want to set up their distribution center or offices in Bosnia in terms of penetrating to Europe? Is there a preference? Is there how do I say, a preferential treatment given by Europe to Bosnia in this regard?
Bosnia is a Muslim-dominated country with up to 60% Muslims living in Bosnia, and it's the only Muslim-controlled country in Europe. When you look at the position of the Bosnia, we have geographical advantage because every single flight from Sarajevo to capital cities is 1 hour, 1 to 130 minutes hours. So logistically, geographically, we have a fantastic position that you can reach either Vienna or Frankfurt or Paris or Amsterdam, even London, Istanbul, in less than 90 minutes. So geographically, you have that advantage. Cost-wise, Bosnia is giving you a lot of advantage. We have a very educated and highly devotional people who are working there and who are welcoming foreigners to start their work in Bosnia. The younger generations are very well equipped with the knowledge of foreign languages, speaking German, speaking English, so you can find a very good, dedicated workforce. Number 3, several agreements that we have. Agreements with the Sustainable Agreement with Europe that is giving us free trade with the European Union since 2015. We have a CEFTA, Central European Free Trade Area, with the Kosovo, Albania, Macedonia, Serbia. We have EFTA, Free Trade Agreement with the Norway, Switzerland, Liechtenstein. We have a Free Trade Agreement with Turkey. We have elimination of double taxation with 37 countries, including Malaysia. We have signed protection of FDI from foreign countries, including Malaysia, with 47 countries. So there are several and numerous free trade agreements, including the Europe and those neutral countries like Norway, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and so on. Of course, Turkey is very significant because it is our #1 trading partner, and of course, Malaysian good trading partner. Another important aspect is financial aspect. We have a very strong financial market. The banks have went to the privatization. They are very good asset-based. And we have the almost lowest corporate taxes in Europe, 10%. If I'm not mistaken, Malaysia is 24% corporate tax. Bosnia is 10%. Value-add tax is the lowest in Europe, 17%. So when you look at that, I think you have a value for the money. The utilities are cheap, legalization is there, foreign direct investment is protected, same as a domestic investors. So you don't need to worry for that. SETI company is not so complex as before. You can do it alone or you can do it with joint venture. Now let's go a little bit to the halal, just to touch a little bit. We have a certificate body for certification in Bosnia, Agency for Certification of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So far, we have 150 companies fully certified by halal activities. Every year, we have 20 new companies taking that. We have 9,000 products exporting over 35 countries. But ladies and gentlemen, Bosnia is not only about halal food. We are fourth in the Europe by Islamic tourism and 40 in the world by Islamic tourism. Our heritage is there for you to explore how beautiful is Bosnia when it comes to the halal Islamic tourism. We were under Ottoman 425 years. We have a halal kitchen, most probably the best in the Europe when it comes to the, I don't know, the lamb, the veal that you can explore yourself. We have facilities that every single Malaysian has experienced. A lot of mosques, a lot of halal hotels that increase certifications, a lot of friendly people who will greet you and help you. So Bosnia is not only sitting and eating, Bosnia is also there for explore. And I think Malaysians are doing it very well. Up to COVID, we have 100,000 Malaysians coming to Bosnia.
And what do Malaysians love to eat in Bosnia?
It will be very funny if I say whatever you give them, they will like. But of course, the preferable is grill lamb, kambing. And usually they come slim, they go fat. They love that to eat. I mean, they will put some weight because our lamb is very famous in the Bosnia and Herzegovina, but it's actually a people who loves Malaysians. You know, we feel to Malaysia. We have been since 90s and recognizing what is happening through Bosnia. I'm not going back. I'm going forward. And Malaysians never give up on us. I mean, thank you very much for what have you done for us.
Okay, let's since you're talking about access to bigger markets, and I think this is what you have clearly expressed here in terms of the advantages of setting up in Bosnia. But I also want to ask Mr. Marcelo about the access to the Latin American market. Because obviously for Malaysia, we are signatory of the CPTPP with Chile as well. So we do have preferential treatment in terms of trade with Chile. So what is the advantage of doing, for products from the ASEAN market, Malaysia particularly, to Chile, and how does it help in terms of exporting to countries like Brazil, Argentina, and all this? Perhaps you can shed some light here.
Yes, sir, Fazil. I explained you before we outside here. We have one idea with Madrid. We make one meeting in Brazil, Madrid, Brazil, and Madrid, Santiago, Chile. We propose because this Chile no have tax with Brazil, Argentina is in South America. We propose for company from Malaysia, he take the ingredients. He make factory in Chile, though he process the product for hand the product in Chile. Example is not necessary he export salt, sugar, or water because we have. But in Chile, this company from Malaysia import this product ingredient in Chile and he produce in Chile, and next time he sell free tax for Brazil, Argentina, in other country, because this Chile and Malaysia he have a relationship with the free tax for the business. I think this is a very good idea for a study. It's not easy, sure, but we talk with the 3-4 companies from Malaysia and from Indonesia. In the same situation, Indonesia. I think this Chile is a very beautiful platform for the business. For make Indomie, you have this idea very clear because I talked with chairman in Paris with Indomie. I think this Chile is very open. It's very easy. I take 1 minute, Sheikh Fazil, for you explain one experience very very special. This government from Indonesia invite me in 1919. He invite me for conference, ISEF. He invite me for this conference about the halal. I go here in this conference. I make one conference about the halal. Mashallah, it's very nice experience. But my government, he say, why you go here? Why you go in Indonesia? I say, but this government invite me. It's okay, but what you say here? I say, I explain about the halal from Chile. Okay, and this government, he talked with the Indonesian government, he signed one protocol for the halal product in 2020. So halal, 1 year's next, this Indonesia and Chile, this is the first country in the world, he signed one protocol, MOU, for the halal product. It's the first experience in the world. I think sometimes this is very important, our action with the halal. We need, anytime, this conference is very important. Here, this Penang Halal is the light for the future, for the new opportunity for the business. I am sure this, with the CCTPP, this for Chile is a very big opportunity for open the business with Asia, with Malaysia, with Indonesia, with Brunei. I think and Penang is very important, and Chile is very permeable, is very open. Welcome, welcome.
Talking about free trades, as you know, one of the biggest free trade agreements ever signed is our Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, between ASEAN member states, as well as China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. So, Bapak Afdal, maybe if I can just tap your perspective, what do you think is going to be the prospects for halal in terms of within the RCEP region? What do you think, what are the advantages of this agreement to the halal growth? Perhaps you can shed some perspectives.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fazil. But before to answer your questions, I want to continue what our story with Chile.
Okay.
So in Indonesia, we have a program, or we call it Spice Up the World, because Indonesia has so many ingredients for the spice. So we try to do what we call it Spice Up the World. For example, you know, rendang is one of favorite cuisine from Indonesia. Now a factory in Europe open factory for rendang. The spice coming from Indonesia, but the meat still coming maybe from the Europe or near the market. So the collaborations will be to serve the halal product in the world. So spice up the world, not only to Chile, but also to around all the world. I think it's a very good initiative. People will know more about the culture, know more about the food, and then also will increase the tourism, the traveling, how people want to understand this is the origin of the rendang and come to Indonesia and do the travels. Yeah. Come up to the free trade in ASEAN. This is something we know in ASEAN country with a lot of Muslim people has a halal preference. So halal product is really important in our transaction for the trading. But how to implement the halal industry related to the halal trade? When we talk about the halal, in the top of mind comes label, certificate, and the next halal science, halal identifications. But how about the halal trading? Do we know how much the export from Indonesia to ASEAN for the halal product? Do we know the export from Indonesia to around the world of the halal product? long time ago. We know there are export products, but we don't have any figure. So we start the initiative. We call that codifications, to embed the halal informations into our custom and trade system. Maybe I want to show you one slide to look at this initiative. And can show the one slide. And this initiative creates a lot of informations. When the exporters report the halal informations in their export transactions, we know the product, we know the destination country, we know the players, so then we know how to develop the industry and how to create the collaborations among the players. So it comes to ASEAN. In ASEAN, we have National Single Window Initiative. All the ASEAN members can do electronic exchange for currently the certificate of origin. So a product from Malaysia to Indonesia, just put it into the national single window, and then the importer in Indonesia, we know this is Malaysian product, so the tax will be blah, 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 and then all the charges will come automatically. We want this process embedded with the halal. So the halal trade need to be more trusted, with very good integrity. So we need to build this with the collaborations for the free trade, and with the collaborations of the digital initiative among the country. I think we can do more better transaction for the halal. So this is the future for the halal trade in ASEAN. And we want this initiative also become initiative for the OIC country and for the others halal producers. So halal in the future become something mainstream. Because currently when we talk with the others players from Europe, oh, maybe they don't know halal, they need some, what do you call it, advice to teach, to understand halal. But when we start to put halal in our trading system, in our collaboration for the investment and trade, I think halal becomes something more common in the future. That's a very good benefit for the halal.
But in terms of, okay, you mentioned about RCEP, you mentioned about the digital processes, but as we know, in terms of halal certification, this is a very, very, this is a very, very old conversation from many, many decades until now. We talk about standardization of halal, you know, but the problem is we still have differing certification frameworks. And yeah, we can have one single windows and what have you, but when it comes to different certification practices, we fall short. We have an issue here. So, you know, how do you think we can achieve this MRA, you know, this mutual recognition of our halal certificates? Because really, we have Vietnam, which is different. We have Indonesia, Malaysia, and you know, would this be a stumbling block in terms of the halal trade in the region with this? What do you think?
No, coming to certifications. Yeah, as we know, Indonesia and Malaysia just signed the mutual recognitions agreements for the keberterimaan sertifikasi halal, both Indonesia and Malaysia, because we know this is good not only for one of us, but good for both of us. So keberterimaan, the acceptance of the halal certification, I think in the future will be expanded. But the problem, how we can trust the certification company, the foreign certification with their standard. So I think to create one harmonized is very hard, because we come to Brunei, talked with friends in Brunei, they have a very specific assurance, talk with Malaysia, talk with Indonesia. It's very difficult. As you mentioned, it's very difficult. So why not just put the halal label from each of the country and let the consumer side? Because consumer will see, okay, this is halal from Indonesia, this is halal from Malaysia, this is halal from Chile. But the control for the certification just make them to be involved to the trade facilitation. I think we just spoke about in Vietnam, there are more than 30 certifications, organizations, but only one endorsed by the governments. So this is to control this. The government need to involve. Government need to involve to ensure the certifications company will do the good assurance. So I think with the collaborations among the members, we can do this and ask for each country to join the very good initiative in the future for collaborations.
I hope this is the case with Singapore as well. We have some members from Singapore, from MUIS Singapore here. Do we have any arrangements with them as well in terms of the mutual arrangement, mutual recognition?
Yes, ongoing. Yeah, in the pipeline.
So good news for Singapore as well. Okay. So in terms of let's just talk about the products. Let's talk about the far markets here. What are the products do you think from your countries which is going to be popular in our Southeast Asian market? Maybe you can share, Mirza and Marcelo.
For your country or for my country?
From your country to our place, our country, our region.
Oh, sure, I am very, it's possible I make business today. Now, this Chile, you know, this one country is very famous for 5 products. Salmon, this is the first place in the world with the Norway, and Chile is the first place in the world with the salmon. You have prune, first place in the world with the prune. This is the dry fruit, prune, and nut, almond. This is the first place, Alhamdulillah, with Avalon. I look in your supermarket, Avalon. This is gold from sea. Avalon is very, very expensive and is very, very good. It's caviar. It's caviar from the sea, Avalon. This is production very strong from Chile. You have one problem in all industry in the world with the gelatin halal. You have a problem, big problem with the gelatina. No, it's very difficult you have gelatina halal 100%. But Chile, you have solution with agar-agar. You know what is alginato from agar-agar? It is from the sea. You have the first company and the first position with the export agar-agar in the world. It's very expensive, but I am sure you have more buyers, this price go down because this production is very exclusive for halal market, for halal production. And in Chile, you have, sure, I talked with Mr. Fazil about the beef. But your country, mashallah, you have different habits for the food. I am sure for the success with the business, we need more talk about exactly what you need, on what is possible Chile is sell, on what is possible Malaysia is sell for Chile. Because I am sure you have products is very nice here. You have fruit, exotic fruit. It's very nice, very good taste, but these people they don't know. Sometimes one person he export durian. I like so much this durian, it's very nice, this fruit. But these people, Chilean people, is very special. You don't understand what is this exactly.
You know, not many people like durian, you know?
No, eat.
You like this?
Yes, it's very good.
Mirza, is this something that you like? Durian?
With the ice cream is very good.
Oh,
ice cream,
amazing.
candy, is patisserie, pottery?
Pastries. Pastries.
No, pastry?
Pastries, yeah.
Yes, pastry. This is a new product. You have rambutan. Rambutan, this
Rambutan,
is
yeah.
rambutan is in Chile. You don't have.
Okay, but do you think this is a fruit that the Chileans would?
Yes, and your food is very special. It's different from China. It's different from Africa. I am sure this company from Malaysia, you have success in this country, because this country you have many students, you have many young. Now these young he look the world. He know have mentality for one food. He like so much taste other perfume, other flower, other taste. I am sure this success is only with the exchange. Anytime with Indonesia, with Malaysia, or with Brunei. I know Brunei is very special. It's little different. For the people it's different, and the food is little different. You have some, I am sure this is different language about the food. No same. You is possible, you say, no, all is same. No. When you look from outside, you look this difference. It's very, very special. I think this is from Chile. You have products on the good price, but you have other country in Chile, no, in South America, no Chile. You have Peru, you have Bolivia, you have Ecuador with cacao. Ecuador, you have the first place in the world with the cacao. This cacao is very good quality. Chile Halal is certified 99% cacao for export in the world. Why give halal certification? Because about the fat. About the you need certify is no have pork fat. It needs halal certification. But this industry here in South America is very interesting. Your action in this country. Sometime I take 1 minute more. I remember one company he go in Chile for sell this product from Malaysia. But I don't know who he give information, but this person he say in mind, he say, I put the product, all product he sell. No, I say, no, you need explain before. You need test, you need explain, because these people is the new product. But Alhamdulillah, today this product, they have many success. Why? Because this person, he take the time, he give many free sample ads in many events. And this little, this product, he have success. This is, I am sure this business plan is very important. When you go in one country's different culture, you need have this idea. For give sample, for test, for make event, okay, for make promotion. No only you go in one country, you say, okay, I sell here. No, it's not easy.
So what sample products did you bring from Chile? Here.
Inshallah, I come with them.
Next time.
Example, no, I am sure it's possible when you have one event here, it's possible I come with 5 products very special for
okay,
one event here. I promise my...
Próxima vez.
Próxima vez, yes, no problem.
Okay. How about Mirza? What other products do you think would make it for in terms of Malaysia and Bosnia?
For the difference than Indonesia and Chile, you have to know that Bosnia is a very small country. The size of Bosnia is basically like Negri Sembilan. I don't know whether there is anyone here from Negri Sembilan. And we have only 3 million people. So if you look at only Bosnia as a country, that a small population and a small country can't supply what you are demanding. Now you have to look at as a region. So region is basically Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Macedonia, Albania. Then you have a significant number of people in one region. That is number one. Number two, as a Chile, Bosnia is very far from the Malaysia. So logistically, costs will be very high. So Bosnia is actually never thinking producing something, having Malaysian company producing something and bringing back to Malaysia. The cost will be high. However, having Malaysian company producing goods and services and exporting to the Europe that is on our gate would benefit Bosnians because you will employ our people, you will get our GDP, and you benefit the Malaysian companies by the profit, by the revenue, and so on and so on. So it's actually, we are looking to have Malaysians producing Malaysians or Bosnian product and exporting to Europe. Market is there, 600 million people that are hungry because there are currently conflicts going on in Europe. When it comes to the products that we have, yes, we also have beef, veal, lamb, same like Chile. We did some exporting to the Turkey. However, demand is very high. It's very difficult to supply the demand that Turkey is asking. Number two, we have confectionery. We have some cookies, we have some biscuits. They are very good. They are very high quality biscuits. We are exporting that to the Germany, to the Austria, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. Whenever we have a strong Bosnian diaspora and population, our products are going there. Bosnia is not all about, as I said, food and beverage. Malaysians has recognized our potentials and our strength in halal tourism. So we have developed a very, very systematic halal tourism, a complete ecosystem in the Bosnia. When I said ecosystem, that's mean from logistic, from the transport of our guests to the hotels where they are sleeping with the halal facilities, restaurants that they are eating that is all halal food, a landscape that is also very attractive from the Islamic point of view because heritage, and of course, at the end, kitchen that is very, very delicious in the Bosnian case. So I would like to put, when come to Bosnia, more emphasis on halal tourism, modest fashion, even cosmetic and pharmaceutical are now going, rather than we talk about food and beverage, because everyone talks about food and beverage. Whether it is Chile or Indonesia, we produce. However, the service is that coming from the Islamic point of view, from halal point of view, is where I want to put emphasize this time for the Bosnia. Lastly, Bosnia as a sector is rich by the sources of agriculture. So if you're going to explore Bosnia, agriculture will be number one. We are producing a lot of veggies, fruits. Number two, it's definitely tourism. And number three is basically going to pharmacies that is also now developing a lot. So I highly encourage to look at from that angle as a gateway to the European Union rather than exporting from the Bosnia to Malaysia because the demand is very, very high. The supply won't be able to satisfy demand, and then logistic costs after COVID is very, very also high. Of course, what can be done from Malaysia to Bosnia is well, we buy your palm oil. With all respect to Indonesia, we go to the Malaysia. We buy the palm oil. We certainly would like to have some exotic fruit that Malaysia has, whether it is mango from Perlis, or whether it is the coconut, fresh coconut, if you have enough.
And durian.
Durian, less or more. Our Chilean friend is enjoying durian in Malaysia, so you can sell it to him. So yes, there are opportunities. I'm eager to talk to all of you if you later want, but I'm into services, I'm into halal tourism that Bosnia is really, really doing very well.
Okay. Now, how long do you have? I think we have around 15 minutes or so. Let's have a more, I guess, nuanced discussion on the prospect of the industry itself. I mean, this is where we go beyond our countries to really understand what do you think would be the prospect of halal growth in a situation of the world where you can see a lot of fragmentation. You know, this thing about US-China rivalry, this thing about the war in Europe, the inflation costs, logistics costs coming up, you know, really, you know, creating barriers to more trade. You know, what do you think the halal prospects would be in such a situation? Do you think it will stay on course in terms of its growth, despite all these things which is happening? And if so, what are the things that we can do different to ensure that we are not affected by all these external problems? Anyone who wants to try this first? Cik Abdul?
Okay, yeah, maybe I want to answer. Yes, in the future, a lot of challenge, but I think how we can develop the halal industry, so we need to link between the corporate and medium scale of business with our small medium enterprise. In Indonesia, we call that UMK, usaha mikro dan kecil. So the linkage between the small and the middle and corporate levels need to be built. Because why? Indonesia, compared to Malaysia or compared to others country, in terms of pengaruh, or in terms of the effect of what happened in Russia, Ukraine, less than Malaysia, I think. Because what? We have our own independent to create halal food, create halal product. So we do a lot of ingredients. So now we try to involve our small players to create a better quality product, can support the corporations. So for example, like when you come to the expo, a lot of jamu there. All the jamu in Indonesia developed by the, what they call the local farmers. The ingredients from the local farmers. So all the other food, we do have fish, we have plantation, we have kambing, sapi, and others. So need to collaborate between the small, micro, and the big corporation. So to bring the small players into the global value chains, that's the key. For the future, the halal industry, we need to strengthen this connectivity, because we want to create our independency for the can supply from our own country to our people, and also can supply to the world. In the future, for the biggest challenge, also the logistic costs. Logistic costs become more expensive. So the collaborations between region and country, not only Indonesia want to sell to Europe, or Europe want to sell to Indonesia, or Malaysia want to sell, but the collaboration for halal, we need to develop the key to replace the ingredients. Because a lot of industry, food industry, depend on non-halal ingredients. So research in the future need to be strengthened. Just Mr. Marcelo say, what do you call that, the chemical for the pharmacy. A lot of, I mean the material for the pharmacy, gelatin. We sort of halal gelatin in the world. Why not we do collaborations to put the initiative to create, to supply the halal industry around the world with the halal gelatin. So I'm agree in the future, not only for food and beverage, pharmaceuticals, cosmetic, and even for the fashion product will be more attractive to be trade in the future for Indonesia and for also the members.
Any perspectives from you, Mr. Marcelo or Mirza?
With the chemical product, we have 3 and 4 company with the ioduro de potassium and acid nitric. You know for what is acido nitrico? Nitric acid? For what? It's very interesting because this one very big company in Emirates, he talked with the Chile Halal for halal certification for acid nitric. But you know, in industry with the meat, sometimes you have the fat in machina. It's very difficult you out this fat because it's possible you put ammoniac, you put many things. It's very aggressive with the inox. But with acid nitric, it out all fat very quickly. This detergent, natural detergent, for the industry, for the meat industry, is very important. This Emirati buy 130 container by month only from Emirates. Is for industry. And you have potassio, ioduro de potassio, and you have tartaro, but I don't know in tartaro is the from resin, tartaro. Is the for stabilizer. Yes, okay. For the product, and the yogurt, for marmalade. This industry is very interesting. I think it is for answer for Sheikh. Sure, you have industry in South America with the halal product, with the halal ingredients. It's very easy for your country take relation with this company for create or for prepare one product from South America, in South America, for export in the world. And if it's possible, example, Chile is sell copper for the China. China, it transform the copper and he sell for Chile. Chile buy the product transformed. It's incredible, but we sell copper, natural copper, brut, and this China is transformed, and these Chilean people buy the copper. But this is the world. This is the world. I am sure this is the same system with Indonesia or Malaysia. When you have project for produce one product, I am sure it's possible. This price is very cheap for producing Chile. Very cheap, because you have anything inside. And it's possible you take this this product for come back here. I am sure this product is possible to go more cheap. For this production is very interesting. Inshallah, but I for finish this my intervention. you no forget with the halal, and you say halal and taiba. Halal and taiba, sometimes these people, he forget. He make a halal certification, but he no respect what happened with the system, with the halal. Wallahi, is very important. Sometimes one company is very big. He talk with me, he say me, I need halal certification. I say, yes. Where you take your water? Say, why? Why you need this information? Say, please, you say me where you took this water for your company. Oh, I take in the river. Ah, this is your river? You buy this river? No, I have permission. Okay, give me your permission. Where is the document? I say, why you make many questions? Why you need many documents? I say, Mister, Wallahi, it's very difficult. I give you one halal certificate. You private all people the natural water for the people. You don't have water for clean. You don't have water for drink. You take all water and I give you halal certificate. It's very difficult. I give you this halal certificate. When you prove this water is your water from, you make, what is the name? Pozo.
Reservoir.
Yes, inside. You take inside. When you have this confirmation, you call with me back. So, are you crazy? I say, sure. Sure, this halal is not only halal. It's halal and time. You respect the people, you respect the nature, ¿cómo se dice medio ambiente?
Well-being, the well-being.
Sí, el medio ambiente, the protection. Yes, sure, because this is very important. You know this salmon industry, all approx 50% company from salmon, this salmon eat blood from pig. You know this? Oh, you check. He take hemoglobina, pork from pork. He eat. All approx 50% company for salmon, he give for it hemoglobina from pork. This is the big problem with the halal. Sure, this halal, this salmon is no one person, but you need clear what is real the process with the halal all. Not only you go here and this is the fish, this all is fish from the sea is halal. Yes, from the sea. From the sea is halal. But when you have production, intensive production, it's different. It's different condition. It's different food. It's different alimentation. You need to understand what happened with, I am sure the halal, you need halal and taiba. This is for me, for Chile halal is very clear for this. You don't need give one halal certification, you know have all is clear about the halal. This is my opinion, Sheikh Fazil.
Thank you. Perhaps we can maybe get some questions from the floor. Anyone who wants to ask any questions regarding the topic? Oh, yep, please.
It was a very wonderful discussion this morning.
Speak a bit louder, please.
It was a very wonderful discussion. I think this understanding of this halal worldwide integration is very important that we understand. Is that if we can have this Latin American with European, with ASEAN together, that would be a good idea of marketability and worldwide penetration. That's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. There's a comment. You want to say something?
That is a wonderful idea. We should not be stopped by the borders, neither by the regions. We have to know that halal is way of life. When I say that, it's made for the Muslims and non-Muslims. Everyone should explore it. Another, it is a built ecosystem that we should look for. So when I said a built ecosystem, that doesn't mean we only talk about halal food and beverage. It's like I was in the Islamic banking and finance for 15 years, and then when I ask you about Islamic banking and finance, people say, but no interest, this is Islamic banking and finance. But that's not the only thing that Islamic banking and finance is offering. Islamic banking and finance is profit and risk sharing. So the banks are taking also risk as well, the people who are taking the financing. Same goes with the halal. Yes, we talk today about food and beverage, we talk about gelatin, we talk about salmon, but don't limit that ecosystem only on the agriculture. Don't limit only on the Europe, don't limit only on the Chile and the Bosnia. It's all over the world. Now Japan is developing very well in the halal. South Korea is doing a lot, learn from Malaysia. Australia and New Zealand. I visited Sarawak, they have a fantastic investment in the Australia and New Zealand for cattle farms. So all the world is actually, like the gentleman said, is Islamic ecosystem usable. And please don't talk only about food and beverage. Talk about how to support financially that food and beverage. Talk about how can we travel, how can we use our pharmacies to heal ourselves. Look at what happened with COVID. Are we ready from the halal point of view to produce the medicine and don't depend on anyone? Malaysia is trying. How about the rest of us? What about our media, advertisement? How about fashion, design? So the spectrum is so large, as well as the geographical area is so large. If we limit ourselves on food and beverage and ASEAN, we are not going to succeed that definitely. So it's a very good idea. I just open it a bit more, not only geographically, but put it everything in one ecosystem, and then you will have a power.
I guess, really, I mean, come to think of it, halal is ESG, you know, it's environmental, social, and governance, more than anything else. It's just the packaging, you know, it's a specific packaging, but actually, in reality, it is ESG. And, you know, it is not just for you to make sure that the food is, you know, there's a slaughter, there's a ritual, but there's more than that. As you said just now, it's about where do you source your raw ingredients, where do you source, where does your fish eat, everything, you know, the whole processes, you have to be clean. So for example, it's not easy to apply for halal because it's not only about the haram halal thing, but it's also the cleanliness, your integrity. It's really a professional standard. And I hope that one day we can work together, you know, as a community to actually, you know, uplift that branding of halal to be as par as ESG. Any other questions from the floor? Yes.
Mirza, sorry to disappoint you. You say don't talk about food, but I want to ask you about food. But I want to ask Mr. Marcelo. Earlier on, we were talking about meat, and you said meat from Chile, the quality is a lot higher than the meat from Brazil. Why is that so? Thank you.
Okay, but my answer is very simple. My country is very long, okay? 6,000 kilometers in prox. We have mountain, is very high mountain, is very big, Los Andes. In north, you have the desert. The desert most arido in the world. 16 years in no rain, okay? And in South Chile, you have Pole Sud, south. You have ice. This country is very close, okay? Sometimes this Chile, it closed the eyes for import many things from many countries. But we have many problems with the epidemic, with the fruits, with the animal, with the food for the animal. We have many problems. And this government take decision, close the system. And they make system very strictly about anything for protection the population about the food. He no give permission for the chemical products, no OGM. He close this door. He no have production intensive production for the beef, is lamb. You have many places for this lamb, and this quality is very nice. He is border of the sea. He eat يعني حشيش yerba. Okay, it's natural food, organic, 100%. No for intention organic. No. For you no have choice, because it's very, very delicate. For my country, when we have one problem, this country it go down, because it's very long. This, you know, one person he take one lamb with one in the road for going north. You have 3,000 kilometers. It's very difficult. This country it give permission free, with no condition, no good condition. You understand? Because it's very strictly. This is the result. The quality is very high. And puedo tomar una paréntesis? I think about the meat, about the halal meat, about the slaughterhouse. I remember this person from Indonesia. He said me, "What is your system you choose for to make dabaha for halal? What is your system for choose who we make halal?" But I say, it's very difficult. I go in mosque. I say, "Who is Muslim? You? Okay, you have work? No? Okay, come with us for work with us for make halal." No, because in one slaughterhouse, you is no Muslim country, and these people is very different of mentality, of habits. يعني تربية. You don't have تربية, Islamic تربية. You don't have education with the Islam education. These people here, and this slaughterman, he need this mind very, very strong, with Iman, with Islam, with the technique, but you need mind very strong, very sure. No one crazy man, because here is very dangerous in one slaughterhouse. All you have knife. It's very dangerous. These people he say very bad kalam when he talk with you for play, because this is no Islamic culture. It's possible, but this brother need, mashallah, very good habit, very good tarbiyah. And why I say you this about this? In Chile, for anything you need detail by detail, anything, you don't forget nothing. This is result for anything about the quality beef, about the system about halal, about the system about the slaughtering halal, because you need look anything, because it's no sample. You know, it's no Islamic country. You need more strictly for anything. And I say anytime for these people, you need sell for my community, Islamic community, you need sell beef. Okay, I need this beef very, 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 very good. Because this my family is, this is my family. It's very good, it's very difficult. I accept you sell for Putin bell. This is no acceptable. Business is business. But for the Islamic business is no permission for sell one thing is very bad. I give you guarantee from my government, this beef and lamb is very, very clean. MashaAllah. And chicken, but chicken is no halal. You don't have a chicken halal in my country. Okay?
Well, okay. Next question, Hamna. Maybe Hamna. Let's make it short and quick, as we don't have much time.
Thank you. So my question is to Mr. Afdal. As you know, in real life and in business, there's always people who are positive or people who are negative. So I think Europe, despite its positivity starting, there's also some negativity. So I'd like to understand the perspective of Indonesia. So I think what President Jokowi done is amazing to embrace halal economy. But you, as your own organization, how do you go to Europe, and what is the marketing strategy that you're doing now for everybody to become more happy with halal and what you're doing and to embrace halal?
Yeah, thank you. I think the strategy for Indonesia, of course, we come from the background of Indonesia. Indonesia is the biggest halal market in the world because we has more than 250 million people who required halal. So that's why, firstly, we need to ensure we can supply halal product to our people. That's the first strategy. And we need to also linkage with the development of our economy. We understand currently a lot of technology, a lot of trade and services. So people want to do the service for the industry, but we need to strengthen the basic industry. Halal industry, food industry, beverage industry, to ensure, in case, with this very big market, supply to our people need to be stable. So that's the first background. So when we understand we want to develop the industry, and we look at a lot of partners coming from other countries, from Europeans, they invest to Indonesia, from other Asia, from China, from Australia, investing to Indonesia because they want to tap the market. But then after that, they recognize, after they understand the Indonesian market, they build the factory in Indonesia to supply to Indonesia market, but that's not enough. They become the center of excellence of the halal industry in the world. When it's come, the players, the industry players, they not only want to supply to Indonesia, but they will supply the halal product to around the world. What the slide that I showed to you, that's the big players. Now they are become center of excellence for the halal industry for the worldwide market, not only for Indonesia. So in terms of that, let's do the collaborations to strengthen the industry and to get the benefit from others, from ingredients, maybe from others company or others country, to collaborate with Indonesia, and also the assurance systems. I think Indonesia not only want to export the product and the services, we want also to export what we call Juleha, Juru Sembelih Halal. You know, Indonesia, manpower from Indonesia who understand the halal concept. We do a lot of them. Why not we send this manpower around the world to develop the halal industry in Chile, in Bosnia, and other countries to help them, to give them the more understanding. And I think with that collaborations, the industry become mutual benefit. That's, I think, my sole answer, Cik Abna. Thank you.
We have one last question because I think we are running very, very late. So just one quick question from someone. Who was it? You? Okay, I think that's it. All right, the lucky one.
Hello, hi all. My name is Shahira from Kini Halal, Malaysia First Digital Media, Halal Digital Media. So my question is for Mr. Miza. In terms of halal tourism in Bosnia that you mentioned earlier, so does the ecosystem there is fully ready? And then if yes, are you welcoming Malaysia to come there to experience ourselves the halal tourism there? Thank you.
The question is, are we ready? The halal is evolving constantly. So we can't say that we are 100% ever ready. Neither Malaysia, neither Bosnia, neither Chile, neither Indonesia. So it's evolving. We can talk about beauties of Bosnia, but are we ready from your side? Digitalization, new apps, progressive media showing aggressive concept of promoting Bosnia. We are not doing still yet that. Yes, many Malaysians, when there is a word of mouth that people are talking, Bosnia is beautiful, Bosnia cantik, halal, everything. So on that side, yes, we are ready, but are we really promoting Bosnia? Are we like bombing or shooting really hard all markets? Let's say Indonesia is the largest Muslim market, 350 million. I can ask, have you seen any promotion about Bosnia and Indonesia? I don't think so, they see it. So on that side, I will say we are not ready. There is nothing to hide here. We need to work much better on promoting our country. We need to have something like Tourism Malaysia, travel all over the world and show what we have. Currently, we are not doing this on the level it should be. So the question, are we ready? Yes, there we are ready to receive, but are we ready to promote fully our potential and our country? I will say we are still lagging behind. Now, when it comes to Malaysia, you can't find the table or, you know, the signboard, Selamat Datang still, and I would love to have that, but we are really, really ready for Malaysians when Malaysia come, because you are good guests, you're very humble, you behave that we like, you give some money to our tourist leader, tourist guide. So Bosnians generally love Malaysians. They're very generous, very humble people, Muslim people. We don't have a lot of, how to say, headache with Malaysians. We are ready. We know what you like. We even have now Global Ikhwan open in Bosnia. It is actually outcome of Sarajevo Halal Fair that we have in 2018 and 19, that first Malaysian restaurant together with the hotel open in the Bosnia, providing Malaysian food. So if you are staying more than 5-6 days, definitely 3-4 days you will eat Bosnian food, and then you will missing your own food, and then you can find also Malaysian food in Bosnia. So they have diversity. We have fantastic halal hotels. We have a religion system that satisfied Malaysian views. That's mean it's a chain, it's supply chain from the moment you enter to the moment you depart. So everything is there. So far, Malaysians are not complaining when it comes to tourism. I just wish that bigger number is coming, and we are welcoming you. We have our embassy here in Malaysia. You have business club, whatever you need. We organize even in the Bosnia for Malaysia tourist agencies to come, and we give presentations. So more than, I think, 39 agencies came 2019 and attended that presentation. So between our two countries, the relationship is good. It's really flourishing. However, I think we should not only focus on Malaysia. There are Singapore, there are Brunei, there are Indonesia. 350 million people would love to travel to Europe, and this is when come to our readiness, yes, for Malaysia, yes, for other of the world, I think we have still a space to progress maju lah.
Buka hadapan. Okay, I think that wraps up the session. We have had, I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion on stage. I think to sum up very, very quickly, we spoke about how we can penetrate into bigger markets through the agreements, the trade agreements, taking advantage of those agreements to access bigger markets. We spoke about how halal is not just about food, it's not just about the pork and the alcohol, but more than that, you know, it is ESG, and we also talk about how you know, there should not be any borders between Muslims and non-Muslims and different countries. These are all artificial things. We should collaborate as a community and make the halal whole much larger, much stronger. So with that, I thank you so much to all the panelists today to share your perspective with us, and the floor, who has been very active. I know we don't have much time, but we'll have more. Please, after lunch and Friday prayers today, we have 3 very powerful sessions. Number 1 is logistics in ASEAN, which is a very, very important session, because as you know, logistics is one of the worst hit sectors after the pandemic and with the inflation happening as we speak now. So it is a very, very important session, because all the products that you're eating now, you know, depends on the logistics side. So please don't forget to attend this session at 3 p.m. Ask all the things you need. After that, there will be a session on the rising role of women. We have some of our speakers of the session right back there. 2 ladies, up the hand, yes, that's it. So very, very important session to understand what are what is, you know, how do we actually galvanize this, the women, the role of women in the halal sector. And last but not least, I would guess this is a very star-studded session, which is a session with the CEO of MDEC, the chairman of Hong Leong Islamic, the CEO of Digital Penang, and the CEO of Surunai Commerce also here. So this will be a very, very important session on the future of tech innovation in the halal sector. Something we don't really hear much in the past, but now more so, the urgency of digital adoption is so, so important. So please, please join us in these sessions after the break, and I wish you good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you to our moderator, Mr. Fazil Irwansom, CEO of Penang Halal International, and our distinguished panelists for their insightful sharing. May I now invite all the distinguished panelists and together with the moderator to the front center of the stage for a group photograph. Let's give them a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Afdal, Mr. Marcelo, Mr. Mirza, and Mr. Fazil. Catalyzing halal growth in a fragmented world. Thank you, our distinguished panelists and our moderator. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the morning segment, the first session of our conference, and it is time for lunch. And I would like to invite everyone to proceed to the ballroom 4, just on your right, for lunch, and we shall reconvene here at 3 p.m. for session 2, No Frill Discussion, Enhancing Logistic Resilience in ASEAN. Enjoy your lunch and wassalamualaikum. See you at 3 p.m. Terima kasih.